Crypto no nonsense truth here at Crypto Calypto. So let's get going. Today, 4 things. Chart update, my personal trading strategy, price predictions, and the big picture. That'll be a recap. Let's bang this out. Good morning. This is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. I'm Michael from Crypto Calypto. Here's my chart. And once again, amazingly consistent at time of recording. For market direction consistency, for those of you new to the channel, firstly, welcome. We are just starting, so help give us a boost with the like, subscribe, and please share. The chart I published a couple months ago, even though I've been using it for about 4 months now. It looks simple, yet it represents a massive amount of research using a ton of different metrics, such as stock to flow, on-chain and liquid supply, offshore leverage chains, traditional technical analysis models, and much more. But that was just the beginning. I have a very diverse background with an extensive contacts list from around the world, and some of those contacts are super whales, billionaire family members, not my family, but I know the family members, major VC funds, top officers, and even friends and family deep inside the Chinese finance market. I mention this only because I have become fully aware that a very few groups control the world finance markets, including the Ponzi scheme we call the stock market, and they are slowly encroaching the crypto space. Ultimately, all price action is a trickle down from an orchestrated plan from the scum. The gray macro linear lines are general top-to-bottom trends within this bull cycle, and it is a bull cycle. As you can see, it's looking amazingly accurate, but I do want to caution you. 1. This is based on my intuition, backed by general knowledge I have from a very macro understanding. 2. There will be a massive legacy market crash sometime within the next 24 months. It could come tomorrow. It could come at any time. So my chart will always be trumped by that event. And 3, always do your own research. I do not offer financial advice, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. So here we are right here on the chart, and 50 has been very strong resistance, which will break out soon. Then we'll spend 1 to 3 days at a quick retest, most likely with a massive shot up to my estimate between 75 to 82, and I believe no later than the 15th, likely sooner. And when I say shot up, I'm talking a move of over 25K in just 5 or 6 days. My confidence level in this exact scenario is about 80%, and in the unlikely event that doesn't happen, I am 99% certain we will see new all-time highs for Bitcoin this month. The reason is the scum and super whales need fresh profits, along with continuing asset accumulation. The brakes will be released and off we go, but look for a very quick, substantial correction immediately thereafter. Let's look at the price action. As you can see, Bitcoin currently lives at right around 50, and that's getting ready to top the line, which will probably result in a very quick retracement. But that is going to pop up, like I said. I believe they are playing safe for now, with legacy fundamentals looking shaky as well as the SEC promises regulation. Let's also not forget about a likely future ETF incoming soon, which I personally feel will be mid-November unless the 100x offshore shorts get in the way. Then they'll use that or something similar as a launch pad for the takeoff. ADA not sitting too well right now. On the 7-day, the top cap winners are Solana and Doge, and really the only loser on the 20 billion caps or higher is Cardano. And why is that? There are many reasons, actually. 1. Remember, 8 weeks ago was a first mover and reached new all-time highs before most everything else because of news FOMO pumping ahead of their smart contract launch and summit, so we were already priced in. Number 2, the summit event was overhyped, and although Dish is a huge success for a new partnership, in my opinion. And keep in mind, ADA is my largest holding. But this is Crypto Calypto, after all, home of no-nonsense truth. So I gotta tell it like it is. So I feel the summit was horribly produced. with almost a junior high presentation. And the marketing team has done a horrible job of maintaining momentum. And of course, Charles is on vacay for another week, and ADA fans enjoy his inspirational fireside chats. Additionally, I've noticed huge increased action for offshore leverage trading, and with whale sideline for now, combined with low volume, it leaves ADA vulnerable to quick swing and day trading. Long-term ADA is, in my opinion, the biggest sleeping giant by far and remains my favorite HODL play. But if you came into ADA for quick gains, quite frankly, you're in the wrong place. As Charles reminds us over and over and over again, the mission is not about enriching monetary investors. The mission is about enriching humanity investors, which is why Cardano has one of the strongest staking and loyal communities in the space. And don't discount how massively important that will be over the next few months as we see an exponential increase in projects on the Cardano platform. So be patient with this one. It will be late to the party, but when it blasts through the door, it will start the music for the real party. Bottom line is, what a freaking buy opportunity. For that matter, all of the top 10 caps are looking good right now. But do your own research. Let's talk about trading strategies. And this is never one size fits all. We always need to weigh experience level, risk tolerance, short-term and long-term goals, and self-discipline. And the crypto space is relatively unique because of primarily over-leveraged, mostly unregulated price movements, but more importantly, it's a revolutionary disruptive technology which is and will continue to change the landscape of the entire world financial markets. If you are new to crypto, I can't stress enough how critical it is to ease into the world of trading or investing in crypto. You are still very, very early, and there is no rush. Odds are, if you just jump into this, you will get wrecked. So let's talk about some different investment trading strategies and approaches. The conservative approach. And personally, I fall into the moderately conservative category primarily as I feel it's the most responsible strategy, especially at my age. For this sector, of course, the easiest and safest play is to buy Bitcoin, set it and forget it. Over time, this will easily outperform the legacy market and or your 401k, both of which I strongly feel will get crushed when, not if, but when the legacy market crashes. And don't get me wrong, Bitcoin will crash right along with it, but Bitcoin will come back faster, bigger, and stronger. It is inevitable. The next strategy tier level down would be a mixed moderately conservative approach of allocating top coin HODL along with some swing trades, and maybe sprinkle in some quick trades when you have more experience. This is my personal approach, and here's how I break down. Half, or 50% of my total liquid assets are in crypto. That may sound like a lot. In fact, most of my family and friends think that's outlandish, but of course, the overwhelming amount of people have very little understanding of crypto, blockchain, its disruptive nature, and how the other converging technologies synergize. So I actually feel I'm being conservative. Specific to my crypto portfolio, half is in ADA as a 10-year HODL, 25% is in Bitcoin and ETH combined, and the remaining 25% I swing trade and never leverage or short. I have a very disciplined approach to buys and swing sells, timed exactly to the chart that I showed you earlier, with a specific goal of 3x per year. And I will hit that target. And my strategy will be to adjust my risk tiers accordingly to hit that goal. If necessary to achieve that goal, I'll get into day trading and mid-cap alts and even NFTs, but this year that will not be necessary. As the cycle lengthens with diminishing returns, I may venture into those areas as well. Let's move on. News. What's worthy of mention? Well, there's tons, but the two big ones to me, Bitcoin set to become legal payment in Brazil. This is big. It takes away the one nation fluke argument of El Salvador, but most importantly, while El Salvador was the ball sitting at the top of the hill, Brazil will be the foot that kicks that sucker, and the momentum starts for a cascade of countries to join the trend. And Brazil adoption is not some trend following El Salvador's lead, nor does it require tons of hurdles to go through. Check this out. Brazil started this process years ago. Look, we debated a few years for techs. Well, that's a poor English translation from the original Portuguese. What it really refers to is the legal language of the bill, to cross the T's and dot the I's. And speaking of having your ducks in a row, check out the third paragraph. They already have reached an agreement with the central bank and securities exchange. And now looking at the bottom paragraph, the bill has widespread government support. So this will be approved, and it will be relatively soon. Next big news is all the rage, the Facebook outage, and again, never take lamestream news at face value. The initial narrative was pushed as an external DNS node problem that was quickly debunked by a Facebook tech insider on Reddit who correctly reported the real problem as an internal BGP issue. This is basically missing, or more precisely deleted, routing code. Here's a tech on a general tech community thread who summed it up. He's basically saying that, hey, come on. Facebook has extreme error protocol backups. And then a reply to that, something doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up is right. Here's the real story, in my opinion. On the heels of the whistleblower story and needing a little push to fling turd in the faces of Facebook attorneys, I believe this was a white knight insider proving a point and sticking it to the social media juggernaut. I applaud that. I think it's great. Let's read. The outage came the same day Facebook asked a federal judge, blah, blah, blah. This somewhat discredits the Facebook argument regarding vigorous competition, and the AP is quick to point out this recent outage proves otherwise. Here's a tweet from Eden Yago that wraps this up brilliantly. Our centralized institutions are failing because our world is a decentralized metaverse. Facebook is a centralized institution, and so it failed spectacularly. The old centralized way of doing things no longer maps to our world. And I totally agree. The old paradigm has passed away, and we would be living the new paradigm if we only woke TF up and stepped into that reality. But it's coming, my friends. It's coming. And this segues nicely into big picture thinking. Our world is changing like no time in history. There is a reason why there are whistleblowers willing to risk their careers and lives to bring truth. There is a reason people are rapidly reevaluating what's important in life and scaling back working for the man. There is a reason the younger generation is pushing back against legalized slavery, aka a typical job, in favor of quick gains with meme stocks or crypto microcaps. There is a reason, and Gen Z and others are finding value in NFTs and other evolutionary disruptive technology, and there is a reason more and more are awakening to the reality of a controlled, divisive world full of deceit, greed, and Ponzi schemes. That reason is we are beginning a timeline of humanity's awakening consciousness. The old is broke, and in the time it takes our incompetent government to actually force another debt ceiling increase onto generations to come, a new generation has developed yet another utility NFT to generate real value with a full understanding of how converging technologies will rule the world in the new paradigm of fairness, peace, and unity. For those of us in the U.S., most don't like to hear this, but the reality is we are a broken nation and in disrepair and virtually financially insolvent. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Look, I love my home country, but there's a whole world out there of loving souls willing to work together in harmony to make this fragile planet a better place. And they are beginning the transitory disruptive process. How do I see this playing out? Well, watch my earlier videos for a proper context, but as I mentioned last couple videos, China and the US will implode, and the new economic leaders over the next 15 years will become some countries in Africa, especially in the Tanzania region, India, and Japan. But here's the thing. In 15 years, the semantics of labeling so-called leading nations will all but disappear, as does nationalism and division. I truly believe that. Even the CCP. I know China intrinsically on a deep insider level, and I can tell you the Chinese citizens have had it with their government as well. They simply, for the time being, cannot express that publicly for obvious reasons. But there is, in fact, a quiet revolution taking place in that country as well. For now, know this. This is a battle, and crypto, especially blockchain, is a big part of that. With knowledge comes responsibility. And I genuinely believe We can all do our part. The very best thing we can do is to look inside towards authenticity, follow truth, and do what is right, not for ourselves, not for our nation, but for humanity. That's it for this week, guys. Take care.